All right there. Hello, stream. Hello, de-lo. Happy Sunday. Happy, hopefully, Brazil 15. We're going to knock out this 15 Algeth'ar Academy. So I'll intro it in just a second once we're for sure ready. Okay, doing this plus 15 Algeth'ar Academy as Resto Druid. Running with some new talents tonight. I did some studying and some experimentation and DPS testing as well and stuff. So I'm going to try this tonight. It's kind of a mixture of a couple different builds. The things that I liked personally on some of the more flexible talent points.
5, 4.
And for gear,
3,
I can't really show it right now,
2,
but running 282, Gaze, and Volatile Void Suffuser.
5, 4.
I did change out my stats
3,
a little bit.
2, 1.
Grab some more verse from last night because I was finding I was starting to hit a point where I wasn't very happy with my survivability. So
the Isles have awakened.
I am going to be doing commentary for this, so we'll talk through things as we go.
It has been quite some
This bull,
time since
really
the
just
Academy
looking
has
to
been-
soothe the dudes,
Indeed.
bugs,
Come with us.
and then
It should only take a
maximize
moment to
DPS
set up
outside of
for a
that.
new lesson.
These lashers
Really,
must have
only the
grown
tank should be
wild
taking
while we
damage.
were
Everybody
away.
else will be getting
Please,
little hits from
if
the
you
bugs and
could,
stuff, but I'm doing good about
clear
soothing
out
them.
while
Then
we realign the life magics of this place.
shouldn't be too bad. Let's Ironbark the tank here. I'm going to put some hots up. I'm going to go ahead and damage pot, get out of this. Get into Moonkin. And go ahead and Convoke. These trees are just in my way. Make sure we get Life Bloom back up. And we're going to start soothing. Soothe is ready again. Let's target the next one. This one's at 4 stacks. He's about to die, so we'll just target this Lasher. Wild Growth, and we'll go into an Everbloom proc. Ooh, he's dead. We'll use a battle res here. Just really relying on our Wild Growth and Everbloom healing, soothing on cooldown, keeping hots up on the tank. We'll Ironbark him just to be safe. And they're all about dead, so we'll just finish out here. Fresh that Life Bloom, we got it.
Perfect.
Cool.
We are just about... Wait! Ichistras, there is too much life magic. What are you doing?
Me? There is too much nature. What are you
Oh, it was a
doing?
bop cancel. That's what it
is
was.
that thing? This
Okay,
is
let's
your
stealth.
fault.
Get a big
Absolutely
rake.
not.
Please, help us,
We'll
new
Life Bloom the
students.
tank here. And I would like to get off my Heart of the Wild. And we'll go ahead and Convoke as well. This build that I'm trying tonight does run both melee and DPS talents, at least somewhat. And that is for the boss prio damage. Okay, here let's go ahead and Wild Growth. Use our Everbloom healing and Ironbark the tank. And we're just gonna sit on this Soul of the Forest for a little bit. Okay, moving that out. Awesome. Let's do Wild Growth. Okay, and stacking back up. We go ahead and re-bleed. We're gonna Bark Skin for this big hit. Let's use our Everbloom healing. I'm gonna dispel non-takes real quick. And let's focus on getting a couple star fires out. Tanks can start taking damage here. So let's go ahead and use Soul of Force right away. Stacking up on the tank. Let's get our Rip back out. Refresh Life Bloom. I'm going to sit on this Soul of the Forest. Let's get out of that. Alright, and we'll spend the Soul of the Forest for the Everbloom healing. I don't have Iron Bark, so I'm just going to watch the tank real quick. Let's go ahead and consume our Soul of the Forest for Everbloom. Getting that branch dead. Okay, now we can be in this. We got Germination coming up. Alright, so now let's do this. I'm going to put down a Vortex. Oh, never mind. She got them all in, so I was going to do a Vortex knock, but that probably would have been bad at that moment, so. Alright, then let's go ahead and get a quick Feral Frenzy. I'm going to Convoke as well. We're moving. Very nice. And this, there's really not much to heal, so I'm just watching my feet. Getting heals up on the tank. You'll see me do both casting and cat weaving with this build. I'm trying this. It kind of cuts some of the more like safety talents. Oh my gosh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay, we're gonna Arc Scan. I'm gonna Convoke. Slot should be coming back. She'll res at the boss. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, it brings the cat talents mostly for boss and stuff. Just single target priority, and then for the big AoE pulls and stuff like that, running with Moonkin spells and whatnot. Bringing Fluid Form just because of ease. Moonkin and human casting DPS is very similar, and
Look at
this allows me to more easily use Heart of the Wild in Moonkin, which is superior over Cat for above 5 targets. So right here, I'm going to go into Moonkin. We'll go ahead and use Heart of the Wild, and I'm just using Convoke because I know I won't need it for a while. It's not actually that big of an increase in damage to use Convoke, if at all. Alright, and let's just watch her here with these bleeds. I'm going to Bark Skin myself because I was getting some healer aggro. Let's refresh Life Bloom here. Alright, and we'll Iron Bark that. Here's the AoE damage. This one's not needing a whole lot of prep because it's only one Alpha Eagle. And I'm just going to sit on those combo points and I'll send it on the next wave on the Alpha Eagle. I'm going to go ahead and stealth so I can get a big rip. Stealth rip. And I'm going to save my Invoke here. Going to put a round of pots out, and let's do our Everbloom healing. I'm going to Convoke because I have to move to cancel that, and that'll cancel that Wild Growth. Sitting on Wild Growth now because I have one from my Convokes already rolling. And we're good to now just finish off. With DPSing, because the only damage that's going to come out is the shrieks. I'm going to use the Soul of the Forest before it expires. Let's refresh Life Bloom. Get a wild growth. Target died before it
Now we need to clear out the
got
big
its
ones.
cast off.
I will activate the goals for Lishrath. That is talent toss for you soft skins. Use them to get her attention. Huh? At least we know that.
Okay, let's
works.
hot up on the
Watch
tank.
yourselves.
Swiftmend, stealth. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and pot. Heart of the Wild will convoke as well. Cat convoke. And a little wild growth for this. I'm going to go ahead and trank. Later I'm not really going to be able to cast it because I'm going to have to be moving. Let's get our bleeds back up. And I'm going to sit on the Soul of the Forest. Bark skin this. Consume Everbloom. Use our wild growth. I'm going to just put out some hots and stuff while I'm moving to do this mechanic. I'm on the wrong one. Okay, and I'll let him get that one. I will get something. I'll get this one. Refresh Life Bloom. Alright, I'm going to Iron Bark the tank here. I will use Convoke for healing here. And we'll use our Everbloom healing to keep up with this rot. I don't need wild growth right now, so we're just going to go ahead and get out some bleeds. Let's refresh Life Bloom on the tank, make sure she's got max hots. I think I just overwrote some Soul of the Forest ones, but... And Everbloom healing. Oop. Use a B-Res. Remark of the Wild. Make sure everybody's topped up and ready to go here. Get our bleeds out before this intermission. Alright, let's get the balls. Okay, get our Heart of the Wild out. Go ahead and convoke. Okay, and now we gotta focus on healing to catch back up, because we spent a lot of GCDs doing that. But there's really no unpredictable damage for a while until the next Screech, so I know that I had time to do that. Here, now I need to go ahead and Wild Growth, will Swiftmend, and consume for the Everbloom healing. And I'm just looking to refresh rejuves and spot heal extra with regrowths. Let's refresh Life Bloom on the tank. Go ahead and get some combo points for the next pull. I'm going to go ahead and send a Soul of the Forest into the tank for the Everbloom healing to deal with that lingering dot. Check. I just had a moment of fear that my mic wasn't working and I was muted this whole time. Okay, refreshing Life Bloom. Go ahead and get some prio damage on this guy. Wild Growth, I'm going to Iron Bark that guy, and we're going to start doing some DPS. Pop this guy up with a Nature's Swiftness. Let's refresh Hots. And damage is fairly light as long as we're getting kicks on those surges in this pull. And if we don't get kicks on the surges, then they're dead. I'm going to Bark Skin here. Oh, I got double mechanics. I'm going to go ahead and convoke this. I got the knock dot, and then I also had the other dot. So, that's a little bit spoopy. Okay, we got our bleeds out. Let's go ahead and just do some wraths just to make it easy. Let's move out of that. Let's move lifeline back to the this guy. Let's get hots up on the tank here as we pull. And let's keep up and not body pull. As we're moving, I'm going to go ahead and use Everbloom healing. Our Soul of the Forest to proc Everbloom healing and stuff so we can do that on the move. Fresh Life Bloom, and we're going to go ahead and fit in some Starfires. Looking at these dot targets. And those, I overlapped there. Good health pot and Nature's Swiftness. Is using Boomkin form a new addition? For me, it is. I'm running a pretty different build tonight. Testing a different build from last night. Leans a bit more into DPS greed. Starting to get more out of pug-proof style and more into min-max push. Oh, and he's got aggro, so let's put Iron Bark on him. And AoE, our best thing to do is just Starfire. Mainly bring in the cat stuff for single target on boss and whatnot. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and use this Everbloom healing.
Hello.
Jingling! Thank you for the follow.
to make a deal, eh?
Alright, let's go ahead and use Heart of the Wild for some prio damage on one of these textbooks. The less targets that there are to kick, the better. I have Barkskin rolling, so... Oop, I just wasted my thing there. Oh, I might have just screwed things up. Because I just synced up their attacks on the tank, which is what which got her killed last night. So I think I just messed up with that stop.
Here we are. Long ago, members of the Blue Dragon Flight accidentally overloaded an arcane elemental and created a powerful construct named Veximus that quickly...
That happened last night when we were trying the 16. When you use a knock or something, the attacks get all synced up. And those battle axes were just one-shotting her. I'm just going to claim this area. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and Iron Bark on the Shaman here. Let's use Everbloom healing. Uh-oh, I have 2 stacks. That's not good. Rock Top has 4 stacks. Okay, I'm going to move Life Bloom to Rock Top here. Let's use our Everbloom healing. Did I get Wild Growth off before the knock? Yes, I did. Cool. Heart of the Wild is coming soon. So I'm going to wait until after these mana bombs, and then I'm going to go ahead and pot and Heart of the Wild. Is this on me? No, so let's do it. It's a pot. I can't really afford to do that right now. Okay, now I'm going to do it. Gonna Heart of the Wild. Fight. Drop these bombs out. It's not on me, so let's get some pots out. Get our Wild Growth. Here's the knockback. Let's refresh Life Bloom before it falls off. Catch these orbs as early as possible so I have time to get the next ones. Okay, I'm gonna Barkskin my own. This shaman is kind of scaring me. So next mana drop, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw Iron Bark on him because we're kind of playing on opposite sides here. Actually, I got an idea. I'm gonna drop it over here instead because I can move for the orbs, and he should be standing still to DPS. So I'm gonna put it on myself to move over. So I'm gonna grab my orb, and then I'm gonna move over here. Here's the mana bomb, so I'm gonna go ahead and wild growth. It is on him as well, so I'm gonna bear form that. I iron barked the shaman because they're a little squishier. Able to Swiftman the life bloom before it expired, so nice. Didn't do very much damage on that one, but that one is a little bit scary. Alright, and here we're just gonna do some Starfire spam. I'm gonna bark skin that dot. Go ahead and wild growth into proccing Everbloom healing. Back to doing damage. And I'm going to go ahead and Har the Wild as well and Convoke. We should have saved that Convoke for healing, but I think we're okay. Just Refreshing Hots on the tank. Okay, and let's go ahead and get our Wild Growth out to deal with this damage. I'm going to keep putting some Prio healing into the tank here. Leveling my Resto Druid right now, and the Mythic Plus build using from Wowhead to heal Time Walking has it. Has Fluid Form? Yeah, a lot of builds have it. I wasn't running it for a long time because I felt like it was kind of useless. The main reason I ran it last season and stuff was because of having a kick. I really liked that it didn't take 2 globals to kick. And then this season I kind of worked around not, just having to use an extra global to DPS. I didn't really mind it. And then I was looking more at the talent tree and decided to go ahead and grab it again tonight. I think it is worthwhile. So if I am trying to fit in DPS and stuff, saving that 1 global when you're weaving a lot is pretty useful. Especially if you're doing Cat and Boomkin. Here's the smash. I'm going to go ahead and convoke this. Let's get out of that. Sit on this Swiftmend. There's the smash. I'm really just watching for the smashes in these pulls. Been watching your vids since The War Within Season 3. Never actually found your stream until now. Hey! Well, thanks for watching, and thanks for being here tonight. Can you explain what it is for a complete dummy? Like, how does it save a global? So, normally, you have to use 1 global to enter cat form, and a 2nd global to cast Rake, for example, which is usually your first global once you go into cat form. With fluid form, you can actually just put Rake on your bars in human form, and it will automatically pop you into cat form and cast Rake. So it saves you 1 GCD.
Greetings, New. Who are you? You are not registered.
Let's go ahead and convoke this in between these smashes.
Head to the registrar at once.
So that's how it saves a global. It was, in my opinion, much more important for kick, because when you had a kick, a cast would be going off, and let's say it's a 1.5 second cast. Well, you have to use 2 globals to kick it. Right? You have to go into cat form, and then you have to push your kick. And by that time, a lot of times it had already gone off. So your choice was to, know it was coming and go cat form early, or sit in cat form to be ready to go for the kick and whatnot. It was just really awkward compared to any other healer that had a kick. And then they added fluid form, and that just made it super easy. You could just put Skull Bash on your bar, and you're good to go. Alright, here I'm going to go ahead and pot. We're going to send some damage. refresh.
To merit, learn from this.
I'll go ahead and dispel that. Let's get our bleeds back out. That's why we're running these talents.
Go to the corner.
Make sure we don't hit any orbs, because that's pretty lethal.
Learn from this.
Oh. I dropped a puddle. And now we're safe to stand back here. So I should have been watching my stacks, ideally, and I should have dropped it further back. I should have baited, knowing that my next mechanic I got was gonna sign or drop a puddle. So some optimization that I should be doing is I should be watching the DPS players, especially melee players, and seeing when they run out to drop their puddle. So right here, sorry, bombs. Now, I'm gonna go see if he's gonna drop it over there. Oh, it wasn't actually a puddle drop, so he was being very, very, very ethical with that. For the vacuum, you want to pre-position in pretty closely so the pull doesn't pull you through an orb. If you're close enough, I don't think it pulls you at all. I don't think I need Convoke. So I'm going to go ahead and let's get our bleeds out. I'm going to go ahead and send it defensively. And we'll sit on this. Refresh that Life Bloom. Now I'm going to Iron Bark this guy because I'm a little behind on him. Let's roar us out of this. I have Heart of the Wild up. So let's refresh our Rip. I'm going to go ahead and Heart of the Wild into a Bite. Let's use Nature's Swiftness to heal this guy without having to leave cat form. Although that did nothing, so... Energy Bomb, that is only my second stack, so I can just dispel it and go back in. I'm going to Bark Skin that, because... Just because... Got lucky on those orbs there. I probably should have gotten hit by one. That was pretty far out. Alright, let's get our bleeds back up.
Think about what you have done.
And just finish off with a nice Convoke. Alright, that was Resil 13, 14, and 15. Ooh.
Oh dear. It seems the parameters I wove into my out-of-office spell were a bit extreme. Thank you for all your help.
I think that's the most Resils I've ever gotten in a single key. Yeah, because my previous best on this was 12. Holy Bernie. And Guild Chat. Bald 15 Resil heals. Holy. Okay, let's look at a breakdown real quick. Okay, so overall DPS was honestly a lot less than I thought it was going to be. 19k. Seems low. And then healing, that's my breakdown right there. Skyreach. So what do you do now? Do you have Boomkin and Fluid Form? With this build, I am running Boomkin. And that's so that I have the option to use Heart of the Wild in, like that, for example, that first pull, that big, gigantic pull. Heart of the Wild is going to get some better performance from Moonkin. But anything 5 targets or less is supposedly better in Cat. But if I wasn't going to be doing that, then I could very easily drop both of those and bring some other stuff. But I'm bringing this for pathing to get down here to Starlight Conduit, which is just going to add some more damage. But the trade-off is that if I run Fluid Form, I have to bring Moonkin. And so I'll be swapping into Moonkin automatically with that. So that is a reduction in haste. You lose your no form 6% haste from Lycara's teachings, so it's actually not ideal. It's very comparable in damage, and you lose the haste, so it's a bit of a healing loss. And a play style quality of life loss to lose that haste. But it's necessary to get to this. I guess the other option would be to do this. Could do that. I don't know. All right, Skyreach. Let's do it. Do you know why WoWHUD talents don't run the Life Bloom Mastery increased talents? So, with WoWhead, you have to realize that Volk is having to write for one build to recommend to everybody, from brand new players all the way up to, you know, key pushers potentially, but mostly focused on what's going to be fairly foolproof. So a lot of what he is recommending is not what you're going to see like higher pushers and stuff run. And so when you're getting out of being a brand new druid and you are trying to optimize a little bit more, you have to make some personal decisions. You have to cross-reference between resources like WoWhead, because Volk is the math guy. He also, you know, runs QE Live and all that, and the Evoker WoWhead and all that. So he's very knowledgeable in what he studies and recommends. So you want to make sure that you're not just totally doing fieldcraft, but you also have to look at what the top performers are running, because a lot of times there is a suboptimal choice that they're running for a very specific purpose, and it's not always obvious what that purpose is. So it takes a little bit of investigation. So anyways, I'll show a little bit of that. So for example, here is the WoWhead build. And with this, I'm not going to have time to explain this. With this, he's running Regenerative Heartwood and Nurturing Dormancy, because those are a little bit more foolproof. You're going to get good value out of your Iron Bark and stuff. You're not going to be tempted to use Swiftmend as a spot heal and sit on it. This encourages you to spend it on cooldown. Nurturing Dormancy increases the duration of your rejuves and stuff like that, and gives you a bigger safety blanket. You don't have to refresh as much. Nature's Bounty is going to give you a little bit more spot healing potential and stuff, whereas Life Bloom is going to play a little bit more into your Apex talent and give one target more safety and stuff, which is why I like it. I like it for being able to throw it on a target and quickly have a bunch of mastery on them so that I can top them up. I'm moving it around a lot more. Running Nature's Bounty does not necessarily do this. Yeah, anyways, I have to ready check where we're going, but maybe after this I'll talk through. Essentially, I took that and I took what I did in my Pugproof guide, and I looked at some top performers on Radar.io. I found this guy's build and I really liked it, how it also incorporated the cat stuff, and I kind of went between the three and made my own decisions and came up with a build that I'm running in these keys tonight. Okay, let me enter the key. All right, running this plus 16 Skyreach as Resto Druid. This is my... let me go ahead and... No, I'm not going to do it. It's my key.
5.
I'll show my talents
4,
after.
3, 2, 1.
Running a different talent build compared to my keys and stuff last night. Leaning a bit
5,
more into doing
4,
some damage.
3, 2,
and gear.
1.
I'm going to be doing commentary for this as we go. So here, just putting Life Bloom and other hots on the tank. I'm going to go ahead and Swiftmend and sit on that Soul of the Forest. We have Iron Bark on her. I'm going to go ahead and Wild Growth. I'm going to use a Moonkin Heart of the Wild, because this is a biggish pull. It's more than 5 targets, which is where it's kind of the break point for Cat between other forms. And you be saving Convoke for healing, because it's not that big of an increase, if anything, and so I'd rather just save it for healing. As far as offensive Convokes go, I'm usually using it in Cat form for bosses. Otherwise, I'm mostly just should be saving it for healing. Okay, let's refresh Life Bloom. Oh, let's, no, he's gonna res. Red Winds, I'm gonna Bark Skin and Bear form that I can charge back if need be, and also just for a little bit of extra survivability. He wasn't back yet, that's unfortunate. Here's the Screech. We're going to use Everbloom Healing to deal with that and to buy time to get out the Wild Growth. Let's go ahead and use Trank to cover that. Let my Life Bloom drop off. Here's the Screech. Let's use Everbloom Healing to deal with this. And I've got Nature Swiftness if I need to, but I think this target's going to die before I need to handle that, so that's good. Alright, here's the knock. I'm going to use Travel Form to avoid pulling that other pack. Travel Form, Wild Charge. Let's refresh Life Bloom. Alright, and then I'm going to go ahead and Swiftmend and sit on this Soul of the Forest, and then as soon as there's damage, like right now, I'm going to go ahead and Wild Growth. We'll consume that Soul of the Forest for the Everbloom healing, and we're just back into dealing damage. Let's go ahead and Swiftmend. Sitting on the Soul of the Forest for right now. And just refreshing Life Bloom, throwing out some extra rejuves for healing on the go. And let's go ahead and re-hot up the tank here. I'm going to use Swiftmend and sit on it. I have Heart of the Wild. I'm going to save that for the boss and use it with Combat Pot and all that. Let's go ahead and use the Soul of the Forest, the Everbloom healing. And we're going to do some spot healing here with Regrowth to refresh that Life Bloom before it falls off. Alright, and then I'm going to heal that guy, and then Nature Swiftness the other one. Let's refresh this. I'm going to Stealth for a bigger rake. Let's Pot, Heart of the Wild, Rip. We'll Convoke here. I am going to... I was going to charge back in. I thought that was a bigger knock, but... I guess it's the... Never mind. I'm getting lost in my thoughts. Okay, sitting on the Soul of the Forest. Let's get some more bleeds back out. Go ahead and get our dots up. Okay, Wild Growth to deal with that. Position myself to be okay on these. And then I'm watching for a knockback. If I do get the knockback, I'm going to go ahead and position myself right here. I'm going to Bark Skin. Let's refresh that Life Bloom. Going to use Everbloom healing. Cover also with Wild Growth. Let's get out of that. Pop up with some regrowths, I mean. Let's get our bleeds back up. I'm going to save my Convoke here. I think I can handle this one without Convoke. I'm going to save it for when things get messy here. Okay, here's the knock. Let's use Everbloom healing. Nature's Swiftness to hit that guy. Here's the fan. I'm gonna use it now. Let's refresh that life bloom before it falls off. We're gonna sit on this Soul of the Forest. It's gonna bleed out. We don't have a B-res. Uh-oh. Wild growth. So that knockback was scary. The air form and frenzied regen saved me there. There's the Van of Blades, that's Wild Growth, and then consume Swiftwind into consuming it for the Everbloom healing. I'm going to go ahead and send Convoke here, watching this knockback. Bear form. It's getting a little messy here. I can trank this. Okay, and let's build up some combo points, because those don't go away. Oh, I'm maxed. And he should just be able to release, so it's rebuff. Let's go ahead and do a Sunfire while they're on the move. I overlapped there. I Iron Barked into her Divine Shield. That's less than ideal. Okay, let's get Hots back up on the tank. Refresh Life Bloom. I'm going to just sit on this Soul of the Forest. Okay, the damage is about to happen, so let's Wild Growth into consuming for Everbloom healing. Okay, same deal, sitting on this Soul of the Forest. Here's the damage, so let's Wild Growth and consume for Everbloom healing. Watching the tank here. Move out of that. Sitting on Soul of the Forest. Fresh Life Bloom, Wild Growth, and popping for Everbloom healing. Okay, let's convoke this, because we're going to have that orb damage plus his solar flare. Alright, and we're chilling now. Start this one with a big rake. Let's do a bleed. We'll do a Heart of the Wild here on this proud target. Drop another rip. Let's get Hots up on the tank. Swiftmend, and then we'll sit on this. Use the Soul of the Forest on this guy. Man, he doubled up. Good thing he used his defensive there. Yeah, and I've got Iron Bark. I know that he has now burned his defensive, so if he gets targeted again, he's not going to have anything, so I'm going to Iron Bark him right now. I didn't think I acquired an accent from when I used to live in Kentucky, but apparently I have, because I cannot say the word iron. Ironbark. Ironbark. I'm going to bark skin this. Convoke, because we have a lot of those out. Need one of those constructs to die. We could stop getting all those beams. He's dead now, so we're going to go ahead and do some damage until this next Solar Flame. Here it is right now. I don't know. Oh, I must have gotten reflected. Or something. Okay, and I'll just go over here. We'll spread out a little bit. Let's fresh Hots on the tank. Get out some bleeds. I think they all got it, so I'm just going to go ahead and Wild Growth. We'll use our Everbloom healing, get up some more Hots on the affected players. This guy has sack, and these two should be pretty good to go. Let's refresh Life Bloom. Lust is ready. Okay, so I'm gonna get in this one. We'll use defensive convoke here. Get a quick Heart of the Wild while I can. Let's move our Life Bloom back over. That was kind of cringe that they're all so close. That was really awkward. I opted to stay and let them adjust to me rather than us all adjust and freak out and move and stuff. So I am getting better about planting and letting people work around me rather than us all try to adjust. And it ends up so that nobody gets it. Just committing to be predictable. It's like what I tell my daughters when they're riding their bikes or something and there's a car. So like, don't freak out, you know, get out of the way, move predictably. When you're fast and unpredictable and you panic, that's when things go bad. Now let's go ahead and convoke for this blast so we can top up the group for the hit. Get our bleeds back out. Looking for beams. There's one right here I'll take. Or maybe he wants to take it for the... I don't know why he'd want to take it. He's bubbled. So I went ahead and put Iron Bark and a Nature's Swiftness into the Shaman. Let's roar us out of that. I will take this one. There's another one over there. Yep, I'll stay here. Wild Growth and just putting some more rejuves into the players so my regrowths actually do something. Let's move out of this. Okay, let's refresh Life Blooms, and I'm not going to be able to stealth. Go ahead and send a quick Heart of the Wild, because it's off cooldown. And I'm going to... Oh, okay, Bob, nice. Big. And I don't know why I'm pumping regrowths into the tank. She doesn't need it right now. Should have been Starfiring. That was a good pull for Starfire. Alright, let's go ahead and build up some combo points real quick for the boss. 4 is perfect, because then I can go in and rake and then rip. So I'm going to start stealthed. We're going to rake, rip. Get Hots into the tank. She's got Guardian of Ancient Kings going, so I'm not going to worry about that. Let's go ahead and ramp the group for the Sunbreak. The Wild Growth. Refresh that. Is it on? Who's it on? And I'm going to go ahead and knock it right before it dies. Alright, and here's the movement. In a second here. Pull this back a little bit. It's not on the pillar. They should have stopped DPS on it. I'm going to Iron Bark the tank here. I did overlap with her Ardent Defender, but... Alright, let's Wild Growth into popping Everbloom. Let's get away in case it's on us. Nice knock. I'm going to go ahead and Ursul's... No, I'm not going to. Okay, next Sunbreak, I'm going to... I thought I still had Soul of the Forest, so I was sitting on it, but I did not. Okay, let's move away from this in case it's on us. It's not. I'm going to go ahead and trank this. And let's see. I'm going to knock it over there. Oh, no, I was too late. Alright, we're a little behind. Okay, now we're good. Let's start ramping the group here for the sunbreak. Let's use wild growth. I need to make sure that that does not go into the other one. Here's the sunbreak. Let's do a wild growth. I'm going to need to convoke this. This is going to be kind of tight quarters. Ursul's it back there for a little bit of slow. There we go. Alright, we need to finish this. So I'm going to go ahead and Heart of the Wild, rip, rake, refresh life bloom, and going into a wild growth and Everbloom healing. That's on me. I'm going to go ahead and bear and frenzied regen. Cool. Just man mode tank it. I'm going to see if I can handle this skip. I saw a cool video. Let's see if I can handle it. Yep. Oh no! Oh no! Oh! How are we doing on time? Oh, easy time. Surely. Almost 10 minutes left. Just gotta really watch everybody here. Damage here is pretty bad on the tank. Alright, let's send that Everbloom healing. Just get up hot. I'm gonna go ahead and just spinning plates this a little bit. I'm going to Iron Bark. Use Ursul's to let her kite and drop those stacks. Let's get up. Lots on everybody. No. As soon as damage happens, I'm going to wild... Oh, no! Uh-oh. Oh, no. What was the stun? Oh. Okay, we have Slapback. Missed a kick. Alright, we're gonna just go ahead and send this. Get some rips off. Spark skin this. We'll just line of sight this. It should despawn. Let's remark of the wild. Refresh hots. I'll Iron Bark now, so she can know that she can save her defensives. Alright, let's start star firing. Fresh Life Bloom. Move out of all this junk. I'm going to go Wild Growth into Everbloom Healing. Watching the tank here for these debuffs. I'm going to sit on the Soul of the Forest. And sending Wild Growth into Everbloom Healing. Watching the tank extra here. Sitting on the soul of the forest. Let's get out of this puddle, do a little bit of DPS, try to get this timed. Oh! There's the B-res. Boy. And I'm going to bark skin because she's probably regaining threat. I'm going to trank while I can stand still to help recover this. Let's get our life bloom back up. Oh, man.
Only the strongest survive.
Why is she getting one shot? all these repairs.
Good
funny.
fortune to our friends.
All right. We're running 14 seat. Push it up, see what it becomes. What am I running? Master Shapeshifter. Did I test Master Shapeshifter? Heart of the Wild and Moon can Convoke. I did. Alright, I'll just try this real quick. Make sure I'm in range. I don't want to wait a whole minute. I was doing tests earlier. I have a document linked on my Discord. I ran a ton of tests when I couldn't really play for real. I was taking care of the kids. So I tried all kinds of different combinations of talent builds and openers and stuff. Did like 1 minute tests and use that to help inform some decision making. Essentially, it's what already was suggested on like QE Live and stuff, and what I said in my keys yesterday. I just wanted to see it for myself. In a nutshell, Starfire is the best for AoE. Doing Sunfire is not really that much of an increase.
Hunt it down and destroy
But if you need to move, then it's good. Single target, Cat is still performing better by a bit. So that's why I'm bringing these Cat talents. It's for bosses and stuff. But single target casting with like Wrath and stuff is not too far behind, surprisingly. Alright, I'll intro this. No, I'm not going to intro this. I'll just do a quick little intro for stream, but I'm not going to post this. I already have a 15 posted from yesterday, so running this seat, trying this new
5,
talent build,
4,
a little bit more
3,
focused on DPS
2,
and stuff.
1. Five, 4, 3,
I need a potion.
2, 1.
Potion seller. Alright, let's stealth here. Iron Bark. Gonna exit Moonkin form to handle that. Let's go back in to do some DPS. Gonna use that Nature's Swiftness to handle that heal absorb. Back into Starfiring. And let's handle this with a Wild Growth into proccing Everbloom. And I need to watch the tank here. Alright, she bubbled. Let's exit. Oh, nice freedom. Gonna maybe bark skin that, but I'll save it. Gonna sit on this Soul of the Forest. Cool. Let's refresh Hots on the tank. Swiftmend. And we'll sit on this Soul. Alright, for this group-wide damage, I'm going to go ahead and Wild Growth into a proc and Everbloom. I think that's... I was talking about how I need something... I need a way to say it that's not so long. Something shorter than using Swiftmend to proc Soul of the Forest and then Soul of the Forest to use our Apex talent to create cleave healing through Everbloom. I'm just going to call it proccing Everbloom healing or something. Resto Druid does not have Skull Bash. No, not anymore. That got removed in midnight when they removed everybody's kicks. All the healers' kicks, unfortunately, are now gone, and I hate it. I was excited at first. I was like, oh, well, now I can just relax a little bit. But it stinks. Because now I just have to sit and watch all the casts. Oh! Just sit and watch casts go off and watch everybody die, and there's nothing I could have done about it. So how do you interrupt? You don't. That's what you did. So you used to have to, if you didn't run fluid form, you had to use 2 globals in order to enter cat form and then kick. But with the addition of fluid form, that made it so that then you only had to push Skull Bash. You could have Skull Bash on your human bar or whatever, and then press it, and that would allow you to then kick. And this, again, this is back in the War Within. With Midnight, there is no kick anymore for healers, except for Shaman. So now the reason to take fluid form would be, for example, right now I want to do some damage, right? If I didn't have fluid form, I would have to press cat, and then I would have to push rake. That's 2 globals. But with fluid form, I have rake right here on my action bar. I can just push rake, and boom, I've now pushed rake. I didn't have to enter cat form. So it saves you a GCD when you are cat weaving. Or for example, check this out. I could go ahead and rake, do a little bit bleeds, and then right here I'm going to go ahead and push. I don't have Wrath on my bar, but I'm going to push Starfire if I would need to AoE, and boom, I'm in Moonkin. I didn't have to press Moonkin and then Starfire. I believe it channels the Moonkin effect into that cast. So that's the benefit now. Alright, let's go ahead and just finish this guy off. We'll use Heart of the Wild, and we'll use an offensive Convoke here to finish him off. Rocking Everbloom healing. Oh my gosh. Youchie. You can just res.
The Shadow Guard is building up its presence near the temple.
Having trouble with setting up UI for a Druid with bars swapping? That is a common problem. It is more punishing than other classes.
Figure out their motives and put a stop to their efforts.
And it does take some time to develop something that works for you. So if it logically makes sense for you, then that's great. What logically makes sense for me is I try to put all of my non-rotational abilities on letter keybinds. So for example, my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on is just only for like my primary rotational DPS abilities in each form. And what really freed up my my cast bar is switching to click casting. I just used the basic built-in Blizzard one, but click casting really saved me a ton of keybinds. Because what I used to do back before I swapped to this is I used to have like my action bar 1 be DPS or healing spells, and then my DPS, my 2 bar would be my DPS spells, and I would switch action bars, and it worked for me okay. But now adding click casting, I don't even have my healing spells on my bar anymore. Instead, I just have DPS. So, for example, my my healing rotational abilities, I use the same kind of logic between all of my different characters. And that way, when I swap between my characters and stuff like that, my muscle memory kicks in. So I'll just briefly talk through what that philosophy is. So my left click is my rotational ability, my spammable one. So on Resto Druid, for example, it's Rejuve. On Holy Priest, it's Prayer of Mending. On Monk, it's Renewing Mist. Things like that. Your primary spammable rotational ability. My right click is my spot heal, so it's Regrowth. On Druid, on Priest, it's Flash Heal. It's usually the Flash Heal kind of thing on all the different specs. It's Vivify on Monk. My shift left click is my party wide heal. So on Druid it's Wild Growth. On Priest it's Prayer of Healing, and so on. My shift right click is my like spender spot heal. So it's Swift Mend on Druid. On Priest it's actually just like heal, just regular heal. On Paladin it's Holy Light, stuff like that. More of a spender spot heal. And that's actually just about it for my click casting. And that frees up a bunch of keybinds to be used elsewhere. Hello, Starkitude. Let's trank this damage. It's getting a little out of hand. We'll refresh that Life Bloom and move out of this here. And so then on all my characters, my 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are my like DPS abilities. I have my cooldowns on Alt Q, Alt E, and Alt R, because I find Alt modifiers to be really comfortable, but that also prevents me from fat fingering the keybinds. And then you can see on my bars here, my like Q is a mouse over macro for Life Bloom. All my like other targetable abilities and stuff are on letter keybinds. So Q is Life Bloom. R was Flow, but now it's not anymore. I put Starfire on it today because I couldn't figure out what to put on it. Like Shift R is my external. Ironbark. V and Z are usually my defensive kind of abilities and stuff. So all of those are just on my letter keybinds. And then for each form, I've got my rotational ones. So for example, Bear form, I'll shift into this to prevent this damage. It's a little different for Resto than it is for Guardian, but I've got, you can see my just rotational abilities there. The only thing I really use on Resto is Frenzied Regens, so I just shift in and push 4 for that. For Cat, yeah, I'm gonna have trouble going into forms to show you, but I'll let you pick where you want those rotational abilities to go. But it's things like your Shred, your Rip, your Rake, your Ferocious Bite. Those are the ones that you should be putting on your numbers, ideally. So all heals are clicked except for Life Bloom? Yeah. I was trying to think if there's any others that I don't click. I think that's it. Yeah, Life Bloom's the only one. But yeah, it's just those 4. So left click Rejuve, right click Regrowth, shift left click Wild Growth, shift right click Swiftmend. And then put my Life Bloom on a Q. And then that frees up all my letter keybinds for other abilities, and it frees up my numbers for DPS spells. Alright, and let's get a little bit of mana back here.
I shall handle you, mice. Our efforts will not be interrupted.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pot. We're going to use our part of the wild here. Get up some bleeds. Okay, let's use our Nature's Swiftness. Let's top that guy up. Let's get some hots out on everybody. Just going to blanket a little bit. He's going to go over there. And let's Wild Growth and consume for Everbloom healing. Wild Growth and popping Everbloom healing. I don't have Bark Skin. And then I'm just going to try to position here. I think we've got everything. Don't need Convoke. This is no follow-up damage. I'm going to Iron Bark this guy because he's got the he's getting fixated. Okay, now here's the group damage. I'm going to go ahead and Wild Growth into Everbloom Healing. I don't think I need Convoke for any of this, so I'm going to go ahead and use that for damage. So let's go into Cat. We're going to spend our combo points so that we can have 0, so we can build all the way up. Oh gosh. Spark's getting that. And this is party-wide damage for a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and Trank to finish that off. How do you target by clicking frames? So, like, to target a player, I use Control and Alt. So, for example, if I needed to click the tank here, Control Alt left click is target. Control Alt right click is the right click menu. Oh, I did forget one keybind I use. I use Control Shift Alt click is like my buff or whatever. So symbiotic relationship for Druid, source of magic on Evoker. He popped something, so I was going to Nature Swiftness him, but I ended up sending it into the Mage instead. Alright, let's go ahead and get Swiftmend on cooldown. We'll sit on this. Let's refresh Life Bloom. Let's go ahead and send it. I'm going to use Heart of the Wild here into a Rip. We'll use a Defensive Convoke to handle this. I should have scooted out a little bit to make people not have to adjust to me. That was a little greedy on my part, but yeah, let's get that Rip out. All right, and now we're going into Starfire. Let's get Swiftmend on cooldown. Wild Growth into popping our Everbloom Healing. Let's refresh Life Bloom. Just using some dots while we're on the move here. I'm going to Iron Bark and then send Nature Swiftness into him. I don't have Bark Skin for myself, so just going to have to heal through this. Just sending regrowths into them for the immediate spot heal, and then chaining on a rejuve into that for making stronger follow-up heals. Let's use our Everbloom healing. I do have Barkstone now, finally. I'm going to use a Defensive Convoke to handle this. Let's use Swiftmend and sit on the Soul of the Forest here. Just casting Starfire because that's our best AoE. Gunners and MB, thank you for the YouTube subs. Let's use Wild Growth. I'm going to go ahead and send Nature Swiftness to top the Paladin up a little bit. I have Trank if needed. I think I'm okay for now. It's getting a little spicy, but it's not bad. Okay, I'm going to sit on this Soul of the Forest for now. And let's spend it quickly before it expires. Stack Hots on the tank. And I crossed that line. Made it before the orbs came out. Sitting on the Soul. As soon as there's group damage, I'm going to go ahead. Oh, let's refresh that Life Bloom. Let's go ahead and send it into this guy. Follow up with the Regrowth, top him up. And switch into Wraths for single target. Stack Life Bloom. Let's watch out for this orb, and then we'll move. I'm going to go ahead and send Heart of the Wild here. Actually, that was a bad idea. I should have saved that and ran it with Pot. We'll do a defensive Convoke because I spent too long there. Okay, he got hit by an orb or something. He should have been fine. I was in the middle of Convoke. He should have been fine. Yeah, he's just getting hit by stuff. UI's bugging. Okay, let's refresh Life Bloom. Go ahead and get some bleed damage off here real quick. Get a rip. We'll Convoke as well, and then I'm going to use my Pot on the next one. The next one I'll have Convoke and I'll have Heart of the Wild, so I'll have both of those synced up and use that with our damage pot. Just watching our feet here. Handle this damage mostly with Wild Growth and then proccing Everbloom healing. Done some light rejuving on top of it as well. Here's Wild Growth. Let's use our Everbloom healing as well. Okay, I'm going to use Wild Charge to get back in. We'll go ahead and rip and rake. Alright, let's go ahead and Wild Growth into popping Everbloom. I'm going to go ahead and Trank as well. Get that on cooldown. And let's Wild Growth, and we'll go ahead and send our Everbloom healing now. Let's Pot. We're going to Heart of the Wild and Convoke. Alright, and that's probably good for now. So we'll just pop everybody back up. Keep capitalizing on my Pot. I'm going to let my energy regen, and then I'm going to get a Rip and Rake off again. Okay, I'm going to use Nature Swiftness. Let's use our Everbloom healing. I'm going to watch this guy extra. Alright, now we can go ahead and do our Wild Growth. Get some more bleeds. Let's use our Cat form to get back in melee. Refresh that Life Bloom before it falls off. Alright, and then I'm not going to have time to get that done, so we're just going to focus on healing here. Popping up people that are in danger with a Regrowth, and then I'm chaining on a Rejuve. That's just an old habit that I kind of like to do. If somebody's in immediate danger, I go ahead and Regrowth, and it's usually a pretty wimpy heal, but if I chain a Rejuve on top of that, then that gives them a lot more follow-up power for the second Rejuve, or Regrowth if I need to, because of improved Wild Growth, and then also just the extra mastery and stuff from having the Rejuve on them. Didn't see if I refreshed that Rip early. That might have been a wasted set of combo points. Okay, and then I think we can just focus boss here, so I'm going to go ahead and Convoke. Going in, let's Rip, because it's about to expire. And we should be good. I had Nature Swiftness, so that was going to be my next global on that mage if I needed to.
Emanating from within. Lura.
Yes, the Naru. We must get inside.
I don't think I died, but we'll repair real quick.
The skills you have learned can open the way.
Such chaos. such anger. The way is open. Hurry, heroes.
I'm not going to say it. I say it every time I do this key.
It's rare that a Naru falls into void this way. The few cases I know of have occurred when more.
The way is open.
What fascinating implications.
Such musings.
All right, let's stealth so we can get a big rake to start here. And we're gonna rake, Heart of the Wild, rip, convoke, and bite. And then let's get Life Bloom back up. Here's the beams. I'm going to go ahead and Nature Swiftness into this guy. We'll Iron Bark into the Paladin. Get a little bit of a head start here and cast that Regrowth. Let's pre-position to pop these. Looks like we're popping on this side, so we'll move to the other side here for the circles. Let's go ahead and pre-move. Right here. And we'll get our bleeds back up. So I like cat weaving. Let's get a little bit of extra ground. Cast that wild growth. And I shouldn't get this next one because I already got the set. Oh, I'm wrong. Where's it at? Right there. It's close. Alright, and then I'm just going to go ahead and rip here. And then for spammable single target, I'm going to Wrath. Let the bleeds tick. Unfortunately, I didn't have my damage cooldowns available. Alright, let's refresh our rank. Okay, I have no hots now, so I'm going to need to be kind of cautious for a little bit. Let's position. Oh, what's the beams? Okay, and I think I have enough of a head start now. I'm going to go ahead and get my bleeds back out. Let's go ahead and use Wild Growth into rocking Everbloom. I'm going to use Convoke here because that guy's taking a bit of extra damage beyond what my hots are handling. And we can stay in this little quadrant. It's spinning plates a little bit. Let's prep the group with some hots. And I'm going to save my DPS cooldowns for this next damage amp. It doesn't die before then. I don't think he will. And let's pre-position. Everybody's over here, so I'm gonna move over here. That's Wild Growth. I'm gonna Iron Bark this guy. Use Soul Force into a big regrowth. Alright, let's build up some combo points. Waiting for the debuff. Let's get some hots. Hot. Rip. Feral Frenzy, Bite, and we're done. Cool. Still two-adjusted it, even with the deaths, so that's good.
Become a creature of shadow.
Seems like clear casting isn't in cooldown manager. Should be. It's this icon right here. This little hand.
Ever shifting.
I feel the fallen Naru's power. It beckons me.
You stand on the cusp of destiny, Illyria. There will be choices to make and consequences to face.
Sweet. Got the set. I have no clue if that's any good. I'm going to have to sim that. Got crit on it, so... Autoverse, though. Alright, it turned into a Skyreach. You don't see it anywhere to save your life. It would be under the buffs section, so let me pull it up real quick. What was I doing? Cooldown manager. That's what I'm doing. Oh, no. Yes, down here. Okay, so under buffs, it is, you can also just search. Oh, it's right there. Omen of Clarity. That's why. Totally different name. I'm going to use the bathroom too real quick. All right, be right back. Oh. Turn off webcam so you don't have to see me eat, but got some cheese sticks and some neck of juice. Ready to kill some birds. Go skeet shooting. I think my mic was muted earlier. I
have
apologize.
many lucky doos you like.
All right, let's do this. Ugh. All right. Running with some friends here, doing the 16 Skyreach
5,
as
4,
Resto Druid. This is the
3,
talent build that I'm running
2,
tonight. A little bit
1.
different than some of my other keys. A little bit more DPS focused and stuff. And gear.
5,
How the heck do I buffs
4,
go away until
3,
they're on?
2, 1.
You got it? Okay, good. I'm going to be doing commentary for this one. Let's Ironbark here on the tank. Got hots stacked up. I'm going to go ahead and Swift Mend, and you know what? I'm going to go ahead and pop it. And let's go ahead and potion and use our... Oh. I need to lust this. Gonna get some damage in, but a little slow without haste. Without the button, the big one. Lust. Oh, I'm gonna just watch the tank here. And I'm gonna use Trank here because it goes around walls. I know she's gonna be kiting that direction, so let's line of sight this. Oh, that apparently doesn't work. All right, 1 death. Let's refresh that life bloom, stack up hots. I'm going to go ahead and Swift Mend and then get a stealth off real quick. I'm going to sit on Convoke here. I'm going to use it for healing. And position my back against the wall here and then try to reposition my camera so I can actually see what I'm doing. And we're just down to 1 target, so I'll switch to Wrath. Let's get up some hots again real quick on the tank. And we'll build up some combo points real quick. I'm going to Heart of the Wild at the start of this next pull. And 1 Dire Screech is not bad. So I wasn't too stressed out about us taking that damage because I know there's no follow-up damage. He's going to reflect that. Doesn't reflect, it just reduces the damage, looks like. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and do a Moonkin Heart of the Wild instead, because this is a pretty decent sized pull. Alright, let's get hots up on the tank. Using our Everbloom healing, I'm going to Convoke because we're still not recovered. Let's sit on this Soul of the Forest. And we'll go ahead and send the Everbloom healing for the Blooming Frenzy. Okay, she's got Guardian of Ancient Kings. Should be okay for just a second here. Okay, now I'm just going to watch. Let's go ahead and her souls to give her some kiting. And we're good. Yo, stupid question about the changes to innkeeper food, not giving food mana. What are you doing about quick mana and keys? I'm using mage food or astral apple pie. It's worked for me. I also hardly eat, so I don't know. I usually don't have a problem with mana and keys, so I don't know. I usually just do one key with a mage and then hang on to it all night. Is my honest answer. Okay, here's the wall. Or nope. Here's the wall. And this is my least favorite part of the dungeon, this knockback with the walls going. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to game it. Go there. Send this Everbloom healing since we need to move. Get this wild growth. Dodge this chakram. And I'm going to sit on this. Ooh, I almost got hit by that. I'm going to sit on the soul for just a second for this next Fan of Blades. Let's refresh Life Bloom. Let's be res. And we'll Convoke. Remark. Dodge this, and then the knockback's coming in a second here, so I'm going to look for an area that's clear. It's not on me. Oh no! And a blades. I have Trank for this. I'm going to have to move though. I'm going to Iron Bark this guy. Refresh Soul of the Forest, or Life Bloom, excuse me. And then I've got Potion in a second here. I'm going to wait and use Potion and Heart of the Wild and Convoke all together in cat form. Convoke might be a little greedy. I'm going to hang on to Convoke. Getting lucky. I'm not getting these. Oh my gosh. Okay, so no, I'm not going to hang on to Convoke because we need to recover from this. Actually, I need to use Convoke here for healing. But we're going to be a little bit behind on time now. A lot of deaths. Let's get some bleeds up. Here's the knock. I'm gonna go bear form, and we'll just charge back into him. I'm surprised that circle didn't knock me or whatever. That one right there. Ooh, watch out for the chakram. All right, and let's get our bleeds back out. Get wild growth into Everbloom healing as soon as I can, which is right now. Probably gonna get the knock here again. Yep. I'm gonna go right here and oh, he's moving. Able to catch that Life Bloom before it expires with a Swift Mend. Watching for the direction on this chakram. Oh my gosh, man. We're just getting nuked. It's less than ideal. I don't know what that does for our time. I mean, obviously it does not good things for our time, but I don't know if it's salvageable. I'm going to Iron Bark into the tank, and I'm going to go ahead and just get some bleeds off, select a different target, get our Heart of the Wild up, get a rip, and I'm going to save Convoke for healing here. So we're just going to go ahead and do some Starfires when we can. Alright, and let's do a Wild Growth into some Everbloom healing.
Hello! You come to make a deal, eh?
Buy the mana food and then the health food. You could. You only really need the mana food, right? Check it out. Of all the things Blizzard takes the time to look at, it's the food. Yeah, that's not really worth their attention, but whatever. High priority item. Mossy Vagabond, thank you for the follow. Okay, I do not have... Oh gosh, I don't have bark skin for this, so I'm just gonna... I don't have meld. And we're just gonna convoke that.
I simply wish you
yikes.
had lasted a little longer.
Not sure what nuked me there. Some kind of overlap. I'm gonna trank this. Oh my gosh! Don't die! Alright, let's wild growth, and then I'm gonna move. I don't need to move life bloom. It's on the mage, so we're good. And then I have iron bark I can move to somebody that needs it, but we're good. The construct is dead. You're looking rough on time. Yep. Yeah. Alright, let's go ahead and Heart of the Wild, get our bleed off. I'm gonna send an offensive convoke, because I don't think I need it for healing quite yet. And then we got our... we're covered. Send Nature's Swiftness into one target, and then just healing the other one. Let's get out of this. I gotta remember I can't travel form in here. I keep wasting a E-press trying to do that. Alright, and then we got that one, we got that one, and we got that one. I'm bark skin this. Go ahead and get our dots, because we're having to move pretty frequently, so we'll just do some bleeds and dots. So here's the smash. Let's see there. We need one there. I'll go here. Let's refresh that life bloom. Move life bloom for myself for the cleave healing. Don't really need it on the tank here. Here's the smash. I'm going to convoke this for this next AoE spike. What's the name of the AoE ability? It's not Fiery Smash. Where's the third one? What's over there? Okay, we're gonna use a Nature's Swiftness. Pop him up. Supernova, that's it. Alright, we need to get some bleeds back up. Let's see, we got 1, 2, and I'm in the third, so we're good. Let's put Iron Bark on one target, Life Bloom on the other. I didn't need to convoke there, but it's okay. We have Lust. Oh, that's an old message. Move Life Bloom there. I'm going to trank this. And we will... Ooh, I'm going to use Nature's Swiftness to try to top up this mage in time. Barely got it. Extend this Life Bloom with a Swift Mend. One, two, and then the third. Get Life Bloom back up. Now you go Moonkin form for damage. Reduces your haste. Yes, I'm taking. They're similar. I'm taking that negative in order to fit in. I fit in some cat stuff, and so I'm taking the slight negative in order to have cat form and stuff like that for greater single target damage on bosses and whatnot. Make it a little easier to weave between the different forms. I did some testing today, and the difference wasn't that noticeable between the two. It's mostly that you lose the haste, which affects your playstyle. It's more awkward to play because it takes longer to cast. And then also it's a bit of a healing loss. But I figure if I'm taking time to DPS, then I can handle the healing loss. Right? Because the reason I'm DPSing is because I can afford to. Alright, and so here let's Wild Growth into popping Everbloom for healing. And I'm going to go ahead and convoke this damage before the next Sunbreak. We'll just let him die right here on the boss. Let's refresh Life Bloom. Okay, and then I'm going to get up a couple more rejuves. And here we're going to Swiftmend into Wild Growth and consume for Everbloom healing. And here we need to have the birdie not die on the old birdie. So I'm going to go ahead and just scoot back here. Try to get it out of, get it off the pillar. Okay, in here I'm going to go ahead and potion. We're going to rip Feral Frenzy, and we're going to bite. Let's use Wild Growth into proccing our Everbloom healing. I'm just going to hang out here. Just get a Frenzied Regen. Here's the Sunbreak. Pop our Everbloom healing. Okay, and then this is going to have to be... Man, it's just likes me. I'm going to use Convoke here. And I'm going to knock it so that it's... Okay, nice. Swiftmend to quickly catch that Life Bloom before it falls off and give me a chance to refresh it. And here we're going to proc our Everbloom healing. Man, it's just on me. I'm just going to chill here so they can get the cleave. Let's extend on the Life Bloom target. I don't have anything here, so I'm going to go ahead and just trank this. It's on me. I think if we kill it right here, we're okay. Getting our dots out so we can focus on healing right here. We're going to Wild Growth into Swiftmend and Rejuve for the Everbloom healing. I'm going to go ahead and convoke this real quick. Knock that over there so we have a little bit more wiggle room. Sunbreak, okay, so we'll Wild Growth into Swiftmend Rejuve. And I'm going to go ahead and Roar us. I'm going to pull this back here. I think if it dies right here, we're safe. Get some hots out. I'm going to go ahead and Ironbark the tank. Do I have Wild Charge? Gotta make sure before. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we're not going to time it, but we're going to finish it. Vault and practice. We'll just dot while we're moving here. I'm going to go ahead and do a Heart of the Wild here. Convoke. Sit on this Soul of the Forest. Okay, I'm gonna wait on iron barking the tank. I'm gonna wait until this ends, and now I'm gonna go ahead and do it. Let's get out of that puddle. Do some prio healing on these targets that have the dot. Go ahead and use the Soul of the Forest on the tank for the Blooming Frenzy. It's fresh on the tank. Swiftmend. Get Hots up. I have Convoke if I need it. And we're going to just start putting some Starfires for the cleave damage. And just handle this with a Wild Growth into Rocking Everbloom. I ended up doing a Moonkin Convoke there. That was accidental, but decent balance between offense and defense there. Moonkin has a decent amount of healing still baked into it. So we're okay. Alright, we'll Wild Growth and Swiftmend. I'm hanging on to the Soul of the Forest though. We have Heart of the Wild. Let's refresh on the tank here. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and Iron Bark while she's pulling and gathering. Let's sit on this. I'm going to send a quick rip, and then we're going to Heart of the Wild there, and I'm going to Health Pot to recuperate. Invoke. I had Bark Skin, I didn't press it. Watching the mage here. Got Ice Cold running, we're good. Let's just spin some plates real quick, get Hots up on everybody. And we're good, so now let's go ahead and just do a little bit of DPS. I'm gonna watch this guy. Oh, man. Ah, just barely too slow. I had I had Nature Swiftness ready and stuff. Hurts. Let's remark of the Wild before we forget. Here's Dreadwind. Hope that's not the AoE. Have Lust, small chance? Yeah, if we do crazy amounts of damage on this boss. I'm gonna Convoke this. Top this guy up for safety. Well, I have Heart of the Wild coming up. I have Hot. I'm gonna save Convoke. There's the Screech. Just gonna handle that with Everbloom healing and Wild Growth. Okay, I'm gonna refresh Life Bloom and Hots on the tank, and then we're gonna stealth for the big rip damage here.
We will cast you
Alright,
down
and we're gonna
like
Rake, Hot, Heart of the Wild, Rip. Just build some more combo points real quick. Alright, and then we are now going to start recuperating the group.
Let the scavengers below feed on their punk.
I'm going to trank this to recover. I need to get Life Bloom back out.
Behold the might of the Aracor!
I need to top up the group before this next AoE damage. Shoot!
Behold the might of the Aracor!
And I'm going to just go ahead and ramp the group here a little bit. Let's use our Everbloom healing. It's on me. I'm going to stack against the wall.
Feed on their pulse.
Keep the group healthy. You know what? There's a lot of random damage happening, so I'm going to go ahead and just put Life Bloom on myself. I have B-Res. Let's remark. Yeah, I'm going to play this a little bit more like Raid. And just use the self-cleave healing. Right, we're going to get a quick Heart of the Wild here. On Moxie. Iron Bark on the Warrior. Get our bleed off. Need to get Life Bloom back up. And let's use Wild Growth into consuming for our Everbloom healing. Watching him here as he moves that. 44 seconds. Do or die here. I'm gonna Nature Swiftness on Era. Use an offensive Convoke here. Get a big rip out. Oh my gosh. Woo! We did it! Wow. Nice. And we were gonna quit. Man. Oh yeah, I need to reroll.
Looking for someplace new to explore? Tell me another story sometime.
Alright, let's look at damage and healing breakdown. 14k overall, not great, but some good single target damage in there with Feral Frenzy and stuff, so some useful damage. And healing breakdown. Cool. Oh, there it goes. Oh, I gotta drink my juice. Some celebration wine. Naked juice. All right, that was awesome. All right, I'm gonna make some more hearty feasts. Oh. Where'd he go? My far. They took my far away from me. Alright, Hardy. Boom. All right. How much did Rip and Rake actually do for me? I mean, it did 11% of my damage. It's pretty worthwhile. Now, what would happen if I dropped Fluid Form? What could I bring instead? Bring Matted Fur. Drop that for slightly less damage. Let's see, what does she bring? Okay, so she's got that there. And then she's running Twin Sprouts instead. Could be a he. I don't know. Vitality sounds like a girl character name. But I could be completely wrong. Master Shapeshifter I think was still fine. That is going to increase my damage a lot, although it is an HPS loss. Most people are running Liveliness, according to Archon. The damage over time is kind of underutilized with this build, because most of my damage is Starfire. But again, Master Shapeshifter has no healing benefit at all. I'm not really feeling the heal check, to be honest. It did feel better to have higher amounts of verse today. I don't necessarily think I need this. Matted Fur, because Barkskin is already decent defensive, and I'm using it a lot of times with Bear. So that's kind of overkill unless I skimp on going Bear. Try this for now. Alright, what are we doing? Magisters Terrace, right? I've got an hour left on my flask. Let's go ahead and get some more. We're good on pots and everything. Let's do it.
I have many,
Thinking of dropping
many
Fluid Form
wares.
for this one. What would be more worthwhile? If I drop Fluid Form, what could I bring instead? 3% extra physical damage. Lycara's Inspiration. 4% extra magic damage. if I don't actually use Moonkin form, and dropping fluid form would prevent me from using Moonkin form. Kinda dig that. What's the pick rate on that? Oh, they're probably all inside. I better get inside. Is that actually even tech? 3% pick rate. No, not great. I could drop it in favor of Grievous Runes. That's 10% extra damage on my Rip and Rake. Let's try that this round. And then that also will prevent me from going into Moonkin, so use my that button there. Alright. Okay, running this plus 16 Magisters Terrace as Resto Druid, running with a new talent setup. Just kind of messing around, trying to bring in some more damage.
5,
dropping some of the
4, 3, 2,
dropping some of the
1.
other stuff. Oh. And then gear. Gonna be doing
5,
commentary for this key.
4, 3,
At least try my
2,
best.
1.
I am starting to get tired, so here I'm going to pre-hot the tank. We're going to go ahead and Swiftmend and Stealth. And I'm going to focus some cryo damage on the sentry here. Let's get an empowered Rake. We'll go ahead and damage pot here as well so the DPS can save their stuff. We'll dispel that. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and start cleaving. Oop, I got to switch this. Still had it on the last key. Handling this with just mostly Wild Growth and Everbloom healing. She's got Guardian of Ancient Kings. I'm going to go ahead and dispel this. And I'm going to save Iron Bark for the next one. Let's go ahead and drop this beam in a somewhat optimal place. I'm going to just health pot that. Right, move the Life Bloom back to the tank. Let's consume that Everbloom healing. Just holding on to that Soul of the Forest. And we'll go ahead and just build up some more combo points leading into this next one. She freedomed herself, so that's good. I'm gonna hold on to Bark Skin here. I don't wanna spin that.
You were warned, Umbric. The terrace is forever closed to you. Now leave before.
Oh, I let Life Bloom fall off again.
A message for me. I'm afraid you'll have to incapacitate the guards.
Okay, and Bark Skinning here. And we're just going to start cleaving with Starfires. I'm going to go ahead and send a Defensive Convoke to get the ball rolling. Let's go ahead and send the Soul of the Forest. I'm going to Wild Growth. Let's Dispel. I probably could have held on to that Dispel, though, because it was pretty low duration. Let's refresh that. Life Bloom. Looking for a high health target, so I don't cancel my cast. And let's go ahead and Wild Growth. And I've got another Dispel, so I'm going to Dispel him. And she's doing the pull tech. Can I get that Life Bloom refresh? Oh, I barely got it. Line up the sight pulling in here. I'm going to go ahead and trank this. And we'll get out of this. What is she pinging? Go ahead and Rip, Rake, do a quick Heart of the Wild, do a Bite, refresh the Life Bloom. I'm going to do a Wild Growth into rocking Everbloom to heal. Use Wild Charge to get over that fire.
How I've missed this library. But we can't afford to linger here.
I got Hot's decent duration, so I'm going to get this Stealth Rake.
Please hold.
Okay, and let's pick a high health target like this sentry, and we're gonna go ahead and get some starfires out. So that's our highest AoE damage potential. Just doing it in caster form to maintain the haste. That's why I dropped fluid form this key. Crowd dispersal, that's AoE damage. I'm gonna handle that with some convoke. Just a little bit of convoke. Shackles. She freed herself. Oh, nope, she didn't. Got bubble. I do not have a dispel here, so I'm just going to pump some heals into this target and dispel. I'm going to sit on... Oh, nope, I'm not. I'm going to Iron Bark. I was going to sit on that Soul of the Forest. Here's Crowd Dispersal. Let's refresh Life Bloom. I don't really have anything set up for this, so I'm just going to start regrowthing. Alright, everybody's stable, so let's dispel this guy. I'm going to Wild Growth, and let's go ahead and spend Soul of the Forest. Cool. Let's refresh Life Bloom. No line of sight! There we go. I want to keep those 3 stacks rolling as much as we can. Right, let's proc Everbloom healing. Let's get this Dispel, Wild Growth. Okay, and we're gonna... oh, I canceled my Convoke. That was bad. I Convoked and then I pushed Barkskin. That's not good. Yeah, that wasn't ideal. Let's... I didn't see who they were polymorphing. Gotta stay on top of these dispels. Let's move Life Bloom back to the tank. Okay, and this is gonna hurt when they all die, so I'm gonna go ahead and start pre-hotting everybody. And this Barkskin, Wild Growth, and consume Everbloom.
Must follow policy. Compliance is not optional.
Damage and healing done increased by 12%. Nice. Okay, so let's pot. We're gonna go ahead and rip, rake, Heart of the Wild.
Suppressive measures necessary.
And then we'll do a Cat Convoke, because that still does some healing. And that allows me to then shapeshift out of cat form.
Policy demands compliance.
Break that root, and then I can dispel the other target. Let's get our bleeds back up. Ooh, we're doing a lot of damage. Look at that.
Proceeding with impairment.
Here's the knockback. We're going to use Everbloom healing to handle that.
Refueling.
Molchat, thank you for the YouTube sub. And we're going to let the DPS do their thing. I'm going to take 2 stacks here.
Resuming discipline.
Okay, let's get our bleeds back up.
Compliance is not optional.
Here's the knockback, Wild Growth. Oh, no. It's just on the tank. I'm holding on to the Soul of the Forest. Already used my
Suppressive measures
Wild Growth. Now I'm going to Wild Growth. Or I guess I'll just do Everbloom into Wild Growth. Looks like I got knocked back. Shapeshift, dispel the other one. I'm going to go ahead and send an offensive Convoke. I should have built and spent my combo points before doing that. I wasted some combo points there. Okay, and I'm holding on to my combo points now for this damage amp.
Refueling. Please stand by.
Am I going to be able to get this Are the wild off? No.
Resuming
We'll use it anyways.
Policy demands compliance.
LJ Damage. Thank you for the YouTube sub.
Suppressive measures necessary. Enjoy detainment.
Let's pre-bear that one. Shift out. Get the dispel. Here's the the shlam. Okay, let's get some 3 hots out for this knockback. Fresh life bloom. Gonna wild growth into Swiftmend and proc Everbloom healing. Their bleeds back up.
Please stand by.
I think I can just stand and convoke here to finish. Stacking hots. Oh, I'm not able to stealth. I was trying to get it off real quick so I could stealth. Oh my gosh, okay. I think I need to just ramp the group here. It's going to be pretty gnarly. I have bark skin. Hey. Got the group ramped up here. Just going to keep rolling those rejuves. And they're starting to die, so I'm going to go ahead and bark skin, wild growth, and consume Everbloom healing. I think she's pulling back. I think that's what that means. Yep. Let's get that dispel. Go ahead and send our Everbloom healing to quickly recoup. I don't have a dispel for him, so I'm just going to have to keep pumping heals to him. Let's dispel it now. I think we've got a little bit of time to do some Starfires. Nope, we don't. Nice bubble there. Dispel. And let's go ahead and send our Everbloom healing real quick. Watching the tank. And I'm just going to convoke that glaive damage. So I underestimated it being the end of the pull. Let's hang on to our wild growth until this one ends from our invoke. I need to get that dispel very desperately. Let's do it now. Wild growth, let's refresh the life bloom. And let's go ahead and send our Everbloom healing. I'm just going to start spinning plates. Get one more rejuve up on everybody. I'm going to pump regrowths into Moxie, and then I Iron Barked the Paladin. I know his bubble's on cooldown from him using it before. I have wild growth here, so I'm going to hang on to that for the next burst of damage. Right now I'm going to move life bloom back to the tank. And here's the runic glaive. I'm going to send a Soul of the Forest regrowth to try to top that guy up. Let's start a quick little drink. We're going to line of sight pull here. Stealth. My life bloom dropped off, but I think we're going to be okay. I'm going to have to convoke this to handle those dots. Ooh, that's a lot. Okay, I'm going to use a Soul of the Forest regrowth there. Here's glaive again. Alright, let's use wild growth into proccing Everbloom, just doing some extra regrowths to top up people that are still taking extra damage. I'm not worried about myself. I got life bloom into myself, so I know that I can handle that. Here's runic glaive. Let's get some extra rejuves up on affected targets. Wild growth. I'm going to Iron Bark the mage here and then just focus into the paladin. Just opting to keep life bloom on myself here because the tank is not really in danger. It's all the other random damage, so I'm playing it more like raid with the heal amp stuff. It's wild growth into proccing Everbloom. I really need these dots to be gone so I can start a drink.
Liar! None shall lay hands on the Cynosure! The Cynosure remains here! Deal fit all! Restrain him.
I don't know where the door closes, so I don't want to risk getting locked out.
All is written.
Okay, let's move Life Bloom myself. Let's just put some hots into Kavanis right here. I'm going to go ahead and Mana Pot. I usually don't Mana Pot, but... And this Wild Growth, he's going to drop his. Let's watch our feet.
I am unrelenting.
Nice and easy. Okay. And now we'll go ahead and get our bleeds. We'll do
Marked for defeat.
good freedom debuff? Really? Doesn't look like it.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Just waited to cast that, whatever it's called. Proc that Everbloom healing until right before we went in. I'm going to go ahead and refresh this Life Bloom. Let's watch these targets. I'm going to Iron Bark him because I'm a little late. We're going to go ahead and defensive control. Because here comes the damage. I have Wild Growth already going from the Convoke.
I am unyielding.
Doesn't have Spell Steal. Rip.
Salama am Olenor. Marked for defeat.
Alright, and then remarking. Let's watch Moxie here. Oh my gosh, he's still taking damage. Yep.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And let's proc our Everbloom healing coming out of that. Get some bleeds out. We'll go ahead and get our dots. Move Life Bloom to the mage here. Let's get max hots up on him. All right, and then here they're popping. They should pop. I'm going to Convoke that.
I am unrelenting.
Fresh Life Bloom. Rock Everbloom. Cool. Alright, let's get our bleeds out. And then we got... Let's trank that. Extend the Life Bloom. Rocking Everbloom. I'm going to move it to myself. Let's go ahead and quickly do a Heart of the Wild.
4, 3, 2, 1.
That's Wild Growth into procking Everbloom with the Ruju. There we go.
Help me remove the wards around the Cynosure.
Stacking hots on the tank here. Let's go stealth. She should pull these back, I think.
The void has broken through.
I'm gonna
We're too late.
get hots back up here. Alright, and then we're gonna go ahead and start Star Surging. Have Convoke if needed. Or start firing one of the stars. Alright, let's Wild Growth into procking Everbloom. Holding on to Soul here. For the next set of damage, I'll Wild Growth into procking Everbloom. Cool. Fresh Life Bloom. Putting hots on the tank. Let's go ahead and stealth real quick. I don't have Speed Roar, Stampeding Roar. He won't get stunned, so I'm going to go ahead and rake on him. Also, he's the prio target. Health-wise, I let my Life Bloom drop off. That's not good. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and put out some extra rejuice here. Here's the Consuming Shadows. I'm going to Swift Mend into Wild Growth and procking Everbloom, and we'll go ahead and follow it up with a Convoke. I'm going to go ahead and use my Heart of the Wild here. Some bleed prow damage. Caught the Life Bloom before it expired. And I'm not going to bother star firing because those things are going to die before I get one cast off, it feels like. Alright. Stealthing here. Looks like we're avoiding this pat. Stuck. Let's get Life Bloom up. I'm going to Iron Bark the tank. We'll send Everbloom here. Alright, and then I'm going to target one of these Void Terrors and do our Star Surging. I keep saying that. Star Firing. This one. I don't even have Star Surge talented for this key, so if I say Star Surge, I mean Starfire. It's just almost 1 a.m. and I'm getting tired. Commentary is lacking. We're gonna ramp the group a little bit for this Consuming Shadows or whatever it's called. I'm gonna go ahead and Bark Skin. I got 2 rejuves up on everybody. We're good to go. Here's the Consuming Shadows. I'm going to Wild Growth and then proc Everbloom. I'm going to follow it up with a Invoke. Another Everbloom proc. And we're good. No more damage now, so we're going to go ahead and Starfire. Let's refresh Life Bloom in the tank. Moving into... Nope, we just summoned more adds, so we're back into Starfiring. Okay, here comes the AoE damage. I'm going to proc Everbloom, Wild Growth, and then I'm a little behind, so I'm going to go ahead and Trank this. Didn't pre-ramp that, but Trank is a get out of jail free card. Back to Star Firing. Ooh, let's put Hots on the tank. And I'm going to hit the high health target here. I'm going to health pot that. We're getting a little bit cooked here. Okay, something's going wrong. These bolts are going through or something. Yeah, the bolts are going through. So we're just going to go into full healing mode for a little bit. Get some more Hots out. Watch Slat. I'm going to Convoke. And I'll just save Heart of the Wild for the boss here. It's on Slat again. Getting ready to heal off that heal absorb. Quick. Finish this guy off with some single target Wraths. Okay, let's pre-hot up the tank with everything. We'll Swift Mend. And then I'm going to go ahead and Stealth. And we're going to open with a big ol' Rake, Pot, Heart of the Wild. Oh yeah. Okay, and here I'm just going to ramp the group a little bit for these drops. I'm going to drop this in the corner as much as possible. Here's the drop, and Convoke. That's where healing cooldown should be used. Those hurt really bad. And I'm just going to get dots up on everybody. Multi-dot a little bit. Refresh that Life Bloom. Make sure we don't get pulled into this. I'm going to go ahead and Stampeding Roar. Pop that guy up with the Nature Swiftness. Okay, here's the Sting. We can stack these, I think. Narrow Link, let's make sure we pop that. And I'm going to pre-ramp with some Rejuves, Wild Growth while we can. I'm going to move Life Bloom to myself for the increased Cleave healing for Everbloom. We're going to go ahead and pop an Everbloom right now. Start multi-dotting. Drop this Cosmic Sing somewhere good. Okay, let's move out of the puddles and we'll handle this one with a Trank. Iron Bark that guy. Let's pop these shields. Okay, pre-ramping the group. Wild growth while we can. Nature Swiftness him. And let's proc our Everbloom. Okay, multi-dotting. We'll do a Heart of the Wild here. Nice. Life Bloom on the tank. I can't. Let me go ahead and Stampeding Roar us. Oh, this guy's got aggro. Okay, we're good for now. And we're going to go ahead and Wild Growth now and proc Everbloom. Go back into Starfiring. Big pulls like this. I missed my refresh on Life Bloom. Let's go ahead and pop Everbloom to get the Blooming Frenzy on the tank. Switch to a higher health target so my Starfire doesn't get cancelled as these start to die. Let's refresh that Life Bloom. And extend it. Sitting on this Soul of the Forest. Probably need to pop it right here at the beginning of this next pull. We'll do it right now because it's about to expire. Refresh Life Bloom. Gonna watch Era here. And Kev because they're getting some aggro. Started this off with a Wild Growth. Let's proc Everbloom. I'm gonna sit on Convoke for the healing here. Need to refresh Life Bloom. Let's sit on the Soul. And the group's starting to take a little bit of damage. I'm going to go ahead and pop. Use Wild Growth into proccing Everbloom from Soul. Okay, same thing here. Actually, I need to ramp a little bit more. I'm not happy with the amount of rejuves I've got. So I'm going to ramp a little bit more. Okay, and here we go. I'm going to Wild Growth into Convoke. Really got to watch the damage here. Swiftman for a spot heal. I have Wild Growth ticking, so I don't need to cast it. Okay, now there's no damage, so I don't have to cast it. I'm going to save my Heart of the Wild for the next boss. I'm going to health pot that Heal Absorb off. Here comes the next Consuming Shadows soon, I think. Yep. And I'm just going to trank this. I needed to spend my Everbloom proc there to top up Slat. I used a Regrowth and that
Champion, I know what to do.
fully cleared the Heal Absorb.
Attune the Cynosure to the Void Storm.
Okay, let's refresh Life Bloom. I'm going to Stealth.
What is that
I'm going to open up with a big Rake here.
You
dare? Then down.
Rake. Let's pot. Rip. Heart of the Wild. Bite. Dispel Slat. Go back. Get a big Convoke here. I'm going to sit on this combo points.
Shattering shadows.
As soon as this is done, I'm going to go back in and reapply my Rake and Rip. Let's refresh Life Bloom on the tank. She should be out, so I'm going to go ahead and Dispel. I know that Slat's pretty good about running out immediately. I'm going to move Life Bloom to myself, because there's a lot of random group damage. So I think that I'll get more benefit out of having it on me. Let's refresh it here. There's the Dispel and Slat. Yeah, I'm just going to instant Dispel her. I'm not really watching, but I know she's good about running it out, so I'm just going to trust her. But she pre-horsed. Right, I'm going to use my cooldowns here to help recoup. So I used Iron Bark on the Warrior, and I used Nature's Swiftness on the Mage. Kind of spinning plates here. Let's get that Dispel. Oops, I was a little too soon on that. I have Convoke. Use it now. Because the mage was low, the paladin was starting to get low, starting to get a little starved for globals. Okay, and here's the dispel. I'm watching her now. She is. That's a good thing I watched because she was actually staying there for that soak before she ran out. Got this one. Let's handle these with regrowths. Kind of just doing these with a regrowth and then chaining a rejuve at the end of it. She's back, so we're good.
The void hungers. Shattering shadows.
Okay, once damage clears up a little bit here, I'm going to go ahead and use my Heart of the Wild. And I think I can send an Offensive Convoke, especially since I've got... I'm going to use Nature Swiftness here for this guy. Yeah, let's refresh myself. Let's Dispel. Alright, and I'm just going to send a quick set of Bleeds, Heart of the Wild. And nope, we're going to get Defensively Convoke here. I was going to rely on Trank, but they needed healing like right then. Oh! I'm going to Ironbark the Mage. Okay, we're... Oh, watch out. Get that Dispel right now. Life Bloom fell off. That's not good. Go ahead and move back with this. Just ramping the group. I need to get that. I'm going to Trank. Nope, we can just handle this with Everbloom healing. Alright, and it's done.
It is done.
Sweet.
We have our way into the Void Storm. Let us inform Lorthamar. And
what was mine? Algeth'ar? I'm gonna
near catastrophe.
reroll that.
Hope you find lots of treasure out
See
there.
if we maybe get an easy one for tomorrow. Nexus Point. Ward of the Spellbreaker. Okay, let's look at the breakdown real quick. 17k overall. Let's roll for that Mog. Rolled 20. Okay, and healing. A pattern I'm noticing is that when the healing is a bit more demanding, regrowth is pretty consistently higher. If it's not so bad, then rejuve carries the brunt of it. Okay, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna clip these videos and get them posted and then go to bed. So thank you for watching. I don't think we're doing an overtime raid. Don't think we're doing an overtime raid tomorrow or anything, so maybe doing some more keys. And I think that's my vault done, so even if I don't, it should be good. I've really fallen off the wagon on maintaining an alt, so I could do some on my monk, but I just don't want to. I want to play my druid.